Are you ready?
I am ready.
He is ready. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one satellite, start looking left. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell, you'll get alerts. Listen after. Dave will tell you how to have your very own podcast. And if you're waiting for me to ask you to be a guest on here, don't wait. You hit me up. That's the way this works because I don't know who's out there. I got everything in this time. See how quick my spiel is? Tightening that up.
Good.
Here today, Mr. Chris Tino, live and in person.
Hi there.
There he is.
Hi, folks.
There he is. He's a picker. He's a grinner. He's a toker. What is it?
A sinner,
Yeah,
maybe? I don't know.
A sinner.
Whatever rhymes.
He's playing his guitar in the sun. What else? What else does he do? He's a joker.
Smoker, midnight toker.
Midnight toker. You sure don't want to hurt no one.
Not intentionally.
No, yeah, not intentionally. Never intentionally.
Never.
Chris Tino, guitar picker, banjo picker, mandolin picker, singer. Been around for a while. Been involved in a lot of things.
It's been a while.
Been a while.
It went by quick.
We've been involved in things.
Indeed.
We'll get to that. Why don't you tell us what you're doing now that we may be interested in?
Yeah, now I'm still playing with Brian Malone, my acoustic duo, Tino and Malone. It's been 9 years now. And, oh yeah, we're going strong. We're busy, and breweries, wineries, parties.
Anything that ends in ease.
I guess anything with
nurseries.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah.
I like flowers, so it's possible.
Sure.
Earlier hours. I mean, the pandemic has changed things where
Yep.
we get there earlier and therefore we leave earlier.
It's kind of cool.
It helps.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, this is one of the things about getting old, right? Get older. People want to come out earlier, leave earlier.
That's our crowd, without a doubt, yeah.
That's fine. No, that's fine. Yeah, breweries. It's a cool thing. What kind of stuff does you do?
We're playing everything from the 60s to now. I mean, Johnny Cash, The Doors, tons of Beatles.
Sure.
And then we get into the Dead, some Allman Brothers. Newer stuff, Jack Johnson, Vance Joy, a couple other one-hit wonders.
Do you play, you play mostly guitar or, all right, so I know you as a guitar player and then you kind of branched out into mandolin and banjo.
Correct.
How do you want to address all this?
I mean, I've played everything in electric bands, and then the acoustic thing happened, and
Yep.
we're still going strong with that. But I picked up a mandolin that Brian Malone had.
Okay.
And he had a chord book.
Hey.
And within 2 or 3 days,
You're like, hey,
I want to play mandolin now.
Battle
Sure.
of Evermore.
And I've always liked bluegrass.
Sure.
So I picked up a banjo as well, and
Right.
which is a completely different approach. And anybody who's played one knows that. And I've been teaching myself both of them for 6 years now.
Wow. Did being a guitar player help at all on banjo? I mean,
More on mandolin.
Okay.
Because the fretting's kind of the same, although it's backwards like a violin. And banjo's a completely different animal because it's all the pick in hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if there's anybody out there who teaches, give me a ring.
Well, we had Claire Gilmet here.
Yes.
You know, she's a banjo person, right? I don't know. Maybe she could uncover some stuff for you.
Introduce.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you much of a finger picker on guitar? Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a finger picker.
A nose picker, I heard.
That too,
but
yeah.
that's all right.
Jimmy Page is one of my biggest influences.
Sure,
So
sure.
when I was learning, picking was
Right. Anything he's into, you're going to get it.
exactly. And, the banjo is just that with picks.
I see. Okay. That's cool. So when you play with Tino Malone, are you playing whatever? You bring all
Yep.
of them.
Sometimes it's the harmonica, sometimes it's the banjo or the mandolin. It depends on the song.
And what's he play?
Brian plays guitar, sings well, and he plays a harmonica himself.
Okay. So you're like the switch off guy.
We switch.
Yeah. So he's like basically stays on guitar and you do whatever's left.
Thankfully, yeah. Well, I mean, I say that because with him on guitar, it enables me to try everything that I want to try on mandolin. Say I learned a new arpeggio or a new scale, and with him keeping the rhythm, it's been a tremendous help in my advancement.
That's cool. Why are mandolin frets so small?
That's a good question. I don't actually know.
I'm like, who could play this?
You get fat fingered on it for sure.
Really?
Yep.
Because I'm like, I just feel like, how could you even get in there? Are my hands too big? They might be.
They might
Is
be.
it possible for someone to...
The fingertips, perhaps.
Yeah. I wonder if someone just like, nah, it'll never happen.
It's only one way to find out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking of buying one, seeing what I could find out. Is it like the guitar at all?
It is. It's just backwards.
Okay.
It's the last 4 strings of guitar, but backwards. So.
Oh, I would know the difference.
G, D, A, E.
Okay.
And your chords are just backwards.
They're upside down.
I guess you can call it that, sure.
Same
with your scales.
Wow.
But theory definitely helps in the bluegrass.
Yeah.
It's definitely good to know where to start and where to land.
Yeah, right. It's kind of wild. So how did your whole musical thing start? Take us to the beginning.
Geez, I was a drummer when I was 10, 11, 12. I had a Kent drum set.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sparkling gold.
Oh, yeah.
And I played that for years, not in a band, just to records.
Sure.
All day, ask my neighbors.
So you were just like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. And then I saw in the summer between 8th grade and 9th grade, MTV played Song Remains the Same over and over again, and that was it for me. I saw Jimmy Page, and I said, I want to do that.
Wow.
So I got a guitar.
Huh.
And
you didn't see John Bonham and said, I'm on the right track.
I mean, I knew Keith Moon was my... but I couldn't play like him. I mean, I would set my drums up flat and say, forget this.
Yeah.
But I liked his approach. I liked his attitude. And of course I knew John Bonham. Of course I knew Neil Peart. But
Jimmy Page did it for you.
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to be like him. And I thought it would be easier to just keep a guitar in the backseat of my car when I finally got one and maybe bring it to parties.
Yeah, right. Instead of a drum kit.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Sure.
That'd be tough.
Yeah. All right. That's kind of cool. Did you take lessons? How'd you get started?
I took how to read music. So I took piano lessons from Mr. Bill Peters, God rest his soul, in Platt, and Mr. Maloney, God rest his soul.
Okay, so Meriden.
Yeah, and they taught me how to read music, which I applied to
anything,
almost anything.
Yeah,
that
helps.
It still does.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, you got to learn while you're young. When you can just kind of roll with it rather than
and get familiar with it. I mean, I can't sight read like a hawk, but I can figure it out. If I look at it long enough, I can figure it out.
Yeah. What was the first thing that you got on guitar that you're like, yes?
I think it was the acoustic thing in Vera. Is it in Vera?
Oh, yeah.
I learned how to play that in A minor, and I played it over and over and over and over again. And that led to Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You.
Sure.
Because I had a Zeppelin tablature book, and then...
That's cool.
That's how it started.
Are those open? Is it open tuning? Or?
Those two aren't, but a lot of Jimmy Page's stuff was.
Yeah.
Black Mountainside, he's an open tune crazy man. So that also helps in bluegrass because some of the stuff is in open tuning, especially banjo.
Oh, I see. All right. So banjo is like just a different tune.
It's open G.
Okay.
Which a lot of his stuff is. So
far out. I wonder if that had something to do with it. Did it? Like, in other words, I wonder if he adopted banjo tuning to guitar. Maybe. Somebody must.
There are some tunings that I don't even know where he got them from.
Yeah. He's just fooling around.
But he plays beautifully in all of them.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're like Jimmy Page. Well, who inspired you to be a drummer? I think you said Keith Moon.
It was Keith Moon. It was Neil Peart. It was John Bonham. It was Ringo.
Yeah.
You got to say
Ringo. I want to do all that.
Oh yeah.
What was your drum specialty? What did you feel like you were best at?
Let me see. I think I was getting a hang of some Zeppelin, and I was getting a hang of some offbeat stuff.
Yeah.
Some funk.
Yeah.
And then my mother bought me an acoustic guitar, and I put down the sticks.
Was guitar easier for you?
Once you learn the chords, and you can start you learn your 3 chords, and you can actually make a song.
So you felt like you made the right choice?
I think so back in the day because it's quieter.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I started on bass. I always joke with my students. I wanted to be a bass player because I saw Gene Simmons, and I was like, I want to do that. And started on bass, took bass lessons, and I'm okay. Like I tell my kids, I started taking bass at 12, and I'm in my 50s now, and I play like a 15-year-old. Like, I have ability, it's just that slow. And then once I got on the drums, I was like, oh, this is easy. So I just did that instead. Was it like that for you? Did you feel like the guitar was much easier or no?
Thank you. Once I could make songs sound like they were supposed to, it just made me want to learn more.
Made more sense.
And get as I mean, anybody can be good at drums, but you don't know what song you're playing.
I got you.
See what I'm saying?
I see.
Yeah. So guitar was nice. My grandmother at the time, really liked it because it was quiet and it was melodic.
Yeah, sure.
It wasn't.
Rather than
it wasn't.
hey Graham,
all.
check it out. Yeah,
exactly.
I got look at this song I learned from Keith Moon, and then you just trash the kit in front of her. Check it out. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. Yeah, that's cool. So went through the whole Zeppelin songbook. You were just like, I'm doing this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should save this. I don't know. Maybe we'll have this conversation now. So, what's your favorite Zeppelin album? Do you have one?
I mean, Physical Graffiti comes to mind because In My Time of Dying is just one of my all-time favorites.
Sure.
I mean, but I could, there's songs on every Zeppelin record.
Yeah, of course.
Hard to say your favorite. Very hard.
Yeah, I know.
When you really like what they do and how they do it.
Yep. I definitely hear you. Sorry, I'm trying to figure something out. There we go. All right, cool. Yeah, Far Out. All right, so there you are. You're figuring it out. Who else?
On guitar, I mean, Stevie Ray, David Gilmour, Alex Lifeson.
Sure. Yeah.
Leo Kottke.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, there was a ton of people that just, wow, I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
What's that? And then when I was learning, it was just, tablature was just coming out.
Oh, okay.
And you find out years later that some of it's incorrect.
Oh.
And then once the internet came along and you could watch these guys play, my hand wasn't even in the right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but that was definitely helpful. I mean, the internet to see them playing and where they put their hand is, all right. It makes it easier if I put my hand here. Yeah. But tablature was helpful, and it was just ear. I mean, if you couldn't find someone to teach it to you, you just tried to learn it by ear.
Yep.
Which I still do.
Yep. Most of the time,
right
you're
or wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of the time you're right. Whatever. And then, when did? So, what was your first band scenario?
My first, I played in my cellar with a drummer named Pano Papadopoulos, God rest his soul, and keyboard player / bass player.
An Irish kid.
Yeah.
Pano Papadopoulos.
Yeah. / bass player. Fella named Brian Charette, who is a renowned musician.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, he's playing keyboards in Manhattan.
Oh, cool.
He's a jazz pianist, and he would come down to the basement with his bass and his keyboard, and we would play for 3 years. We played Zeppelin with no singer.
Oh, wow.
I still have it on cassette somewhere. Yeah, we played all kinds of stuff with no vocals.
Wow, that's instrumental Zeppelin.
What a better way to learn.
That's okay. That's all right. So he was like the John Paul Jones dude.
He very much was, yeah.
Doubling on keyboards and bass. That's cool.
Yeah, he was very talented. Still is.
And then you're like, we're taking this out of the basement, or no?
I think we might have played a party or two with that lineup. My first paying gig was in 1990 at a place in Terryville called Andy's, which probably isn't there anymore. It was me, Pano, Danny Gauthier, and a guy named Dave on bass, and we were State of Shock or Critical Mass. I don't remember the name of it. And we played all the music of the day and all the stuff we liked, and it was my first paying gig. I think I was 19.
And it was cool.
It was fantastic.
You're like, this is great.
It was.
This is what I want to do.
Yeah, how's sound?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's funny. How long did you play with those dudes? You don't even remember the name of the band.
Yeah, it was either State of Shock or Critical Mass. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
But after that, it was played in a band called Out of Line with Jeff Anino, which I'm sure a lot of people recognize that name, and his brother, a kid named Jeff on bass. And that lasted for a few years. And then when the grunge thing settled in, it was Mucka Ferguson with the Mighty Chersky.
Okay,
that lasted for quite a few years.
Okay, so that was like your main.
Yeah, that was when I started really playing out a lot and making, I don't know, I guess you could call it decent money.
Yeah.
Just getting paid to play and really enjoying it.
Yeah. I forgot to ask. I couldn't figure it out. Was he in the Fun Bags at the same time?
No, that was at the end of what we were doing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right towards the end of the 90s, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, So Chersky, how'd you find him? Just around.
He was from Meriden, I was from Meriden, and everybody had heard the name.
Yeah.
And I had a band room with the Out of Line band right next to him, and so
that must have been because he told the same story.
Right.
The other side.
And when we were done with rehearsal, I'd go listen to them.
Right.
Hey, let's jam. Okay.
Right.
And it just.
You're like, oh, hey, let's do this.
Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm going to the same band room, but just with a different bunch of guys.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, he kind of said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, were you part of the band, the practice room? Because that was his thing. He was like, there was this band over here and that band over there, and everybody was.
Yeah, he was. He was kind of the landlord of that room, I believe.
Who knows? Yeah. But that's cool. So then you guys were like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
That's the end of State of Shock.
End of whatever that was.
Yeah, whatever that was.
I mean, let's play grunge. People like it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Were you... I kind of remember what I was doing. I was so completely out of touch with anything. Were you like into like hair metal and then like grunge ended it? Did you feel that?
I was never into hair metal.
Yeah, me neither.
It wasn't my thing. I couldn't take it seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
Neon and long hair and it just wasn't my thing. Although I did see Motley Crue in their heyday.
Sure.
I mean, who didn't?
Yeah, yeah.
But it wasn't what I wanted to play.
So you weren't disappointed, like when grunge came.
When grunge came, it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
It just the emotion that grunge involved and it was just it fit my needs at the time as a young 20-year-old musician.
Yeah. What was the first thing that you were like, whoa?
Probably Smells Like Teen Spirit. I mean, that was just like, hey.
Yeah.
And then Pearl Jam came out right at probably much the same time.
Sure.
And we played a ton of Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Mucka Ferguson and all the grunge stuff.
Yeah. So
it was also the first time I ever fronted a band.
Oh.
So I got to sing and yell and scream and
so you weren't the singer before this?
I was a backup guy. I might have sang one or two songs in my previous bands, but I was never like the main.
And you're like, I'm stepping up now.
It just, I mean, that's what everybody's doing is 3-piece grunge band.
You're like, we could do this.
And we did.
Who was the bass player?
There was a kid named Tom Siksensky.
Okay.
There was a fella named Steve Gorenberg.
Okay.
And there was Jose as well.
Oh, yeah. He's still around.
Jose Lopez is still around, sure.
Still around.
Yep.
Wow. So that was that was the magic lineup.
That was Mucka for many years, yes.
How many years did you do that?
I would say from 92 till about the time Matt joined the Fun Bag, so probably for 7 years.
Wow. Yeah. When did he join? He didn't join the Fun Bags?
Till the late 90s, I remember.
Really?
Because they were a band. We went and saw them in Milford. They were a band called Free Beer, which was a great name because free beer. Free beer on Saturday, and everybody would come. Yeah. Perfect name. And then they became the Fun Bags, and we all know how that ended up.
Yeah. So he ended up in it. Yeah, he said, I never realized he was the second drummer.
I didn't either. I didn't know that.
Come to find out, yeah, they were already doing something. And he was like, yeah, I'll get involved in this.
Sure.
That's kind of heavy. So that was it. Did he quit Mucka Ferguson?
It was just they were getting busy, and I mean, they were getting really lucrative gigs. And,
Yeah.
He moved on. I moved on.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? After
that, it was, let's say, probably the Way Outs with Mr. Michael Stocking on bass and Mike Crivolone on drums. Sure.
Yep. So that was you guys.
Yeah.
The Way Outs. How'd you find Stocking?
Through Chris Lancia. He was playing with him in his many bands, and went and saw him play. Asked him if he wanted to do a side project with me, and
Yeah.
So we shared a bass player for a while.
And how did you ever meet Crivolone? He's from.
Well, I lived with him for many years. So.
I
I met him through just all of us going to Hartford the Flames.
Yeah. I see. So you're like, hey, let's make a thing.
Yeah.
And then also you can live at my house.
Open mics in the 90s and such were, I mean, there was many of them. So you'd hit them, 2 or 3 a week, and you'd meet all kinds of players.
You just meet everybody.
Right. Yeah. As far as him living, Mike needed a place to stay, and we had one. So
yeah.
That's how that went.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. So the Way Outs, you guys made some noise for a while.
Yeah, we played, Connecticut. Maybe I think we played up in Mass, Chicopee, or once or twice. Probably down at the Pavilion.
How was it different in your mind from Mucka Ferguson? Was there a difference, or you just kind of like, was there like we're gonna be different from that, or was it just a continuation?
I think it was a continuation. Same instrumentation, just we probably learned more modern stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We would pick out some older songs too.
Yeah.
Whereas Mucka was doing a lot of 70s and grunge. The Way Outs were doing a lot more modern stuff.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. And then eventually, when did I come into the picture? At some point.
I met you, God.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Going on 30 years, maybe? I don't know. It might have been through Mike.
Yeah, probably.
It might have been from open mics. It might have been at Sully's.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's when I seem to remember.
I remember your name from, back in the day, 8 to the Bar, John Peckman.
Sure, yeah.
The guy that plays...
Mr. Big Shot.
Plays unorthodox.
Yeah, open left. Yeah. I didn't know any better.
Works for you.
Nobody stopped me.
Who cares?
They should have stopped me.
Exactly.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, I used to see the Way Outs.
We played in Wallingford. We played wherever we'd get a gig.
Yep, that's cool. And then Acoustica, was that next?
Acoustica was next.
So what happened at the end of the Way Outs? How did the Way Outs?
The Way Outs just sizzled out, and the party band thing started to take over, which we were not interested in at all.
Right.
And so,
how would you characterize the difference, just for anybody? I mean, I think I know the difference.
Just the song selection and the. I can't really say. They had a different agenda when they played. Those guys were out to party and social and have a good time, and I guess we were just trying to be musicians with our head down, playing the songs we loved,
right,
rather than the songs everybody else wanted to hear. And
and
eventually the bars don't care about your taste in music. They want you to fill, and those types of bands were filling bars. So power to them at the time.
Yeah, well, I guess they're probably just like you say, they're following their own personality, I guess. If they, you say they're not head down type of,
right?
You know what I mean? And then all it takes is that.
Yeah, and Acoustica was, kind of an extension of that, only with acoustic guitars.
Yeah,
the acoustic thing was big at the end with the Dave Matthews and Guster and all that stuff. So we said, hey, let's do it with acoustic, and that's when I asked you if you wanted to hit a hand drum and see what it sounds like.
Yeah, that was funny.
Those were great days.
Yeah. So I'll tell you that. Yeah. So Matt Roberts. So how did Acoustica?
Well, Matt Roberts was a Meriden guy, and he had played, open mics with me, and and hey, let's play. Here's a list of songs. Let's learn them.
He was the original. That was him. It was you and him.
And you. Well, it was him and I as a duo. And then,
first,
and then Acoustica came along when you joined.
Oh, so you guys weren't even called Acoustica?
I don't think so.
It was just Matt and Chris.
Well, we needed a fuller sound. We decided we needed a beat.
How long were you guys playing before I came?
6-8 months. Maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I mean, and we just had a couple solo, duo gigs.
I don't remember how it started.
Had a few bars in Meriden, and then...
yeah, you called me. I remember my first gig was at Fatty's.
In Wallingford.
Yeah, you were like, come on down.
The building's not even there anymore.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
It's not.
Wow. No. It's crazy. Yeah, that was fun. It was like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Well, we with acoustic guitars and a sort of similar set, we were having the same amount of fun as everybody else had.
Yeah, right.
Hartford was having, and
right.
We were doing it our own way. That's all.
Yeah, so it became almost like the acoustic party band, in a way.
In its way.
Kind of. Yeah. I thought it was, I had a really good time. I thought it was, as these things sometimes do, I guess. I thought it was you two were a good combo. They were different enough from each other that it covered a thing.
Right. His bluegrass background it brought a different element to these cover songs we were playing. It kind of made them acoustic. You would take an electric song that everybody knew on the radio. We would do it our way, a little slower, maybe even in a different key.
Yeah.
And then Matt would rip a bluegrass lead to a song that didn't even have, and it was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Right. And the Unplugged, people, the whole Unplugged thing was popular where covering songs became cool when you did them your own acoustic way. So
I see.
We were kind of riding those tails.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like writing a thing. Yeah. No, I remember it was cool. I didn't, I remember, I don't, I know. I was, at the time, I was like really into DJ culture. Dance music. So I didn't know a lot of it. I would play with you guys and not know any of the songs. I'd be like, I don't know these songs.
I would tell you just 4/4.
Yeah. And I would just learn them and go, oh yeah, I like this one. This is cool. And I would say, who does this? You'd be like, it's a Pearl Jam song. Oh, okay. I never knew. So I never learned them. I just played along, figured it out.
You played them well.
Yeah, it was funny. Well, you just get out.
I still have the demo we did in your basement.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. No, that was fun. We had a thing going there for a while.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Acoustica.
Yeah.
As opposed to Metallica. Is that the idea?
We take Requesticas on $5 bills. That's what we used to say.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. So we did that for a while.
Acoustica would be 20 years this year. We just haven't played yet. We have a gig. We have a gig in November.
Whoa.
So when we play that gig, we can say we've been together for 20 years.
I didn't even really realize that I was the...
You were the inception, yes.
Whoa. That's crazy. That's funny. Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah, it sure does. And then I don't remember, why did I leave? I don't.
We might have been gigging too much.
I don't quite remember.
It might have been interfering with your gig schedule at the time, or your DJ schedule.
I think the time that we started, I was like, okay. I wasn't doing. I think I was in between things.
Yeah, and Matt was in Shakedown as well, so that was
right. Yeah,
so,
I'm trying to. Not that it matters. I'm trying to remember what I must have got involved in something.
It's hard to say what.
Yeah. I don't remember. That was so long ago. Yeah, that's funny. No, that was cool. It was a good time. I learned. Oh, it was different for me.
We had, if you recall, we had a fun crowd that was very loyal and very fun, and would come to whoever's house we picked at the end of the gigs and stay up till the sun came up. And the party never stopped with Acoustica. It was a lot of fun.
No, I do. I remember that. Yeah, that was fun. It was different. Yeah, I think even one time we got Paula ended up with a Stormtrooper hat on.
There is a photo of that. Yes,
my wife,
there are pictures to prove it. Back when you actually snapped shots and went and got them printed.
We
have those. Yes.
Yeah. Everybody got loose. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you continued without me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, we got Mike Keane on djembe and Matt Forcier, who's a bass player in several other projects around town nowadays. He played rhythm and lead. He still does.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the thing.
I was and still I'm the rhythm singer, harmonica player, and Acoustica, and tries to keep it all together and
whatever it takes.
Try to lead the band.
Yeah, that's cool. You guys aren't playing a lot, right?
Acoustica has a gig in November, and who knows what might come in between.
Yeah. But in the meantime, it's all about the Tino and
Malone and the bluegrass band. We should make our debut this year.
Oh boy,
we've been practicing on and off for 3 years.
And who's that all?
That would be Matt Roberts on guitar, Mike Stocking on bass, and I'm doing banjo and mandolin.
Oh wow!
And the name is tentatively the Higbee Mountain Bluegrass Band.
Hey.
Higbee Mountain being in between Meriden and Middletown. Me and Matt grew up in Meriden. Mike grew up in Middletown. Higbee Mountain's in the middle.
Sure. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Why not?
We just got to play a gig.
Yeah, right.
Then we'll officially be a band.
Well, that'll happen.
It will.
So you ended up almost in a way by default kind of swinging down Matt's way a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
in a way.
I always loved bluegrass.
Yeah, me too.
I just never really listened to it. Mm-hmm. And when I started to and then trying to play it, I said, well, wait a minute. There's a lot more going on than I've ever known, especially with theory and application and technique. And I just dove into it.
And did you tell Matt, hey man?
I did.
Yeah, you were like, guess what?
Yeah,
I crossed over.
Yeah, he's like, no, you didn't. He's like, you're playing mandolin and banjo at the same time? I'm like, well,
get a double neck. Get a double neck. Get a custom. Imagine.
That'd be neat.
That would be. Does that exist?
Well, the problem is the picks, and then that might be hard.
That would be. Can you imagine somebody? That would be.
If you build it, I will try to play it.
That's funny. And he was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah. So we started getting together in the basement and searching for a bass player, and Stocking became available.
Does he play upright?
Yes, he's got himself a nice upright, and we do the three-part harmony, and
nice.
On and off, we've been rehearsing for 3 years. COVID obviously got in the way.
Yep.
But I'd say soon enough we'll be ready to play these same 30 songs in front of people.
Wow, that's cool.
We're getting there.
Yeah. No, like you say, I mean, I don't mind either way because I don't know that I'm an expert. I think I know what I know, but yeah, it seems like lately people think that they like bluegrass, which is fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. Go. I think I don't know what it is. I don't know where they're getting it from, but I think they're ready for something.
It's fun. It's toe tapping.
Yeah.
I mean, the standards can be played over year after year, artist after artist. I mean, which Billy Strings likes to do. And, everybody knows him now, and they're all into Dust in the Baggie.
Right.
But, I mean, if you look at his set list, he's pulling out bluegrass standards every single night.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, and it is great because once you know the song, you can theoretically play it in any key.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I dig it. I mean, that's cool that people are into something. It's a pretty sound. I don't know. I mean, I guess some people hate banjos automatically or whatever, but I don't care about those people. No, you know what I mean? Like some people, they don't understand it.
Yeah.
But you're right. Maybe it takes someone like Billy Strings or whatever to make it, they don't think of like a bearded old guy or whatever people associate that with.
No, and again, his set lists are designed, I think, for the people that are coming to see him because he's playing Dead songs, he's playing Allman Brothers songs.
Right.
He lets you know where he comes from.
Yeah.
And this is the way we're going to do it with blue, and it's always amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the great arranger, great vocalist, great guitar player, and the guys in his band are top notch.
Yeah.
So I saw them in New Haven last August with
Matt.
And I couldn't take my eyes off the screen.
Yeah.
Just watching these guys play.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my nephews who are younger, who are into stuff, they have been telling me about him for years. Yeah. And finally I'm like, oh, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they get the whole the Deadhead thing.
I mean,
rope it, like you can relate it all together if you try hard enough.
The Dead has their bluegrass, influence.
So people, I hate to say they think they like it because, I mean, but they associate.
Well, maybe it's just comfortable. It's a comfortable sound to a lot of people, I think.
It's all right. Whatever it takes to get people interested. That's cool. You guys better hurry up, though. By the time you play a gig, maybe nobody will care.
It's not going to be popular anymore.
Yeah.
Well, we're working on it. We have a gig in October at a farm fest, and we hope to definitely play out before that.
Yeah.
We just have to rehearse a little more. And
so did Matt have 50 million songs?
Of course.
He was just like, oh, I've been waiting. I've been waiting for this moment.
He's been itching. Yeah, he can play anything, Matt.
That's cool.
But we got a good set of standards, and we got some. We're going to do some Dead. We're going to do some Hank Williams.
Yeah. Do it all.
We're going to try.
Hey man, that's pretty cool. I dig it. I like that stuff.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. This probably has nothing to do with anything, but I remember years ago, I would listen to old time bluegrass music, and a lot of times I would feel like some of the arrangements were like asymmetrical. Like they would hit a vamp and they would only vamp for like 3 measures before they started to verse. And it always seemed to be arbitrary. Like I would listen to recordings and go, I wonder why it's not always like, 2 measures and then we start, or 4 measures, then we start. Sometimes it was these odd numbers. And then one time years ago, I went to see a string band play somewhere, and I realized they were doing like old school, like they had one mic. Mm-hmm. So so they're all standing in a circle, and when the soloist's turn comes, everyone just vamps until he gets up to and then they hit the one. And I was like, oh, that's why.
We toyed with that idea to play live.
Like you just you wait until you just go, now, we're starting now.
Yeah.
And you don't keep track of like, I just thought it was funny that it's not like, oh no, I have 2 measures to get there. They're like, just take your time and you get there when you get there. And then when you start the top of the solo, that's where the top of the form starts. And if it's 3 measures or 5 and I was like, oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah, bluegrass is
it's fun. It's cool.
In a weird way, it's a feeling.
Yeah.
It's you have to feel it.
Yeah.
Like there's no set way to play it. You don't have to start the vocals.
It's a folk music. It's for folk. There's no rules.
It's a blend, and it's a blend of a lot of wooden instruments, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just funny. I was like, oh, wow, that's why. Because, I'm listening to it going, oh, wait, they started in the middle of a thing. And I'm like, it's choreography. Like they would move out of the way and this guy would come forward and then he would go back. And I wonder if Billy Strings does that because they all have their own mics. See, this is going to change everything.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know if they record that way. I doubt it. We toyed with that idea of live. Yeah. I was talked out of it by many a sound engineer that said it would be a nightmare to even try that because every room would be a different mix. I bought a banjo mic and have a mandolin that plugs in, and it's just going to be easier.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. Well, I'm just,
I wish we could play old school like that. That'd be fantastic. It just would look cool, too.
But, whatever. Back in the old days, probably. Like, that works if they're, like, the thing I saw was like a theater. And everybody's quiet and you're watching, but that would be hard to play in a winery or a brewery.
Or outside, for that matter.
Yeah,
because the wind would just...
Yeah.
We couldn't set up like the Papio Daniel Flower Hour on Brother Art though. We wanted to, but it wasn't happening.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. That's kind of cool. So Matt has his dad was like a picker. His
dad was a fantastic picker. His mom is a fiddle player.
Oh, I didn't know.
His sister sings wonderfully.
Yeah.
And they're very musical.
Yeah. So he was just laying in wait.
He was very, very pleased when I told him, let's do this.
Yeah, he's like, finally. Yeah. I had to play all the Green Day songs or whatever.
Yeah, I had to play all these songs with you. Stacy's mom, how dare you?
Yeah, well, that's all right. It was fun. I think everybody brought something.
Matt said something, once we started rehearsing and it started to sound like bluegrass, he said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, this is the music we're going to play when we're old. This is the music we're going to play for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right, as opposed to... No offense,
as opposed to
Stacy's mom.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. No, I suppose it happens. It happens.
I mean, I didn't see myself gravitating from grunge to bluegrass, but it's just weird. It's a weird. Musicians are fickle.
Yeah.
We like what we like.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, you just you're following your path. You're following your thing. You got to follow the thing.
Yeah.
Wherever it leads.
I hope so. Hope it leads to good gigs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully. We'll see. That's cool. So that's your thing. What else?
I mean, I'm a graphic designer. I've been a cook. I mean, but music's my passion, and music is, I mean, it's tough to make a go at it here in Connecticut.
Sure.
You see a lot of people. It moves in circles. You see a lot of people you haven't seen in a while.
Yep.
In the Connecticut music scene.
Yep.
Still doing it, which is great.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I see a lot of up and coming kids playing their hearts out like we used to, and it's just fantastic to see. And they all got really good equipment now because the boxes and the heavy stuff we used to lug around has all been consolidated.
Yeah.
Man,
funny.
they're lucky.
Yeah. No, that is funny.
It is.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's not as it's easier than it was.
Yeah, cumbersome.
Yeah. What did we miss?
Oh, I don't know.
What did we miss? Did we cover it all?
I think we.
As far as your thing.
Me, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Who the hell am I?
Well, you're the guest this day, so we gotta get something going.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Hey, man, nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe we. All right. So.
Did you play in Chill Winston with us? Did you sit and play a Chill Winston gig?
Yeah.
I think you might have subbed for me once at a.
Yeah.
I know you've played for the Wayouts when I needed you once or twice. Yep.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
So Chill Winston, I forgot about that.
That was me, Mike Stocking on bass, and a plethora of drummers.
Yeah.
It was Dennis Maroney, it was Brandon Warren, it was Matt Priest, Sean Priest. We went through a lot of drummers, and that was, I don't even know what that was. That was an inception of hipster, hippie, I don't even know. You'd have to look at the set list, but we played everything from Ween to Wilco, from the Meters to G-Love.
Yeah.
And it was a funky kind of...
more funky.
Yeah, it was... I was able to open up and do more leads, which was nice, because in Acoustica, I think I might have forgotten how to play lead in that band, because I had given the duties to Matt, and I was keeping rhythm, and then I found that I needed my theory back, so I had to like reteach myself how to go about it.
Hey, that's kind of cool.
And then the bluegrass thing was like, oh, now you really need to brush up, and here we are.
Yeah, right.
I mean, right or wrong, I'm doing it both ways.
Hey, man. Yeah. Well, Matt will straighten you out at least.
Oh, without a doubt.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of you have favorite bluegrass recordings?
Ricky Skaggs is an amazing mandolin player. Grisman.
Yeah.
Alison Krauss.
Yeah.
Billy Strings. I mean, Wayne Henderson.
Wow.
I mean, there's a million players out there.
Yeah. So once you dove into
Tony Rice. I mean, the list is endless.
Sure. What about banjo?
Banjo, well, Jerry plays banjo, and I mean, I know a lot of bands I listen to, I don't know the guys' names, but I said, well, that guy's really good. The guy for Ricky Skaggs is amazing, and the guy for Kentucky Thunder, and the guy for Frank Sullivan in Dirty Kitchen. Oh my God,
I don't know who that is.
Frank Sullivan and Dirty Kitchen are some nasty bluegrass players.
Yeah.
The Punch Brothers.
Yeah.
That's like newgrass, which is.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's bluegrass with all minor chords. It's crazy.
Huh?
But
I don't know much about that.
Yeah, they call it newgrass because it's bluegrass, but it's very intricate and well written.
Yeah, that's cool. Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of wild, huh?
But Ricky Skaggs is just. I mean, if you want to learn how to play mandolin, watch him.
Oh yeah, really. And then anything else too. Fiddle.
Oh, Roy Clark also comes to mind. Yeah, Roy Clark can play anything.
Yeah. No lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. So Chill Winston was just for like a sliver.
Yeah, that was a 2 or 3 year project.
Yeah.
It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We opened up for some great bands, and we played some good gigs, and had a great time.
So like you and Stockings, turns out, you guys are the partners.
It's
the longest. That's
20-something years, 22 years. Him and I have been in many bands together, and he's always been happy to play and learn the songs. And, I love playing with Mike.
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
That's cool. Wonder if we get him up in here.
I'm sure he'd be happy to.
You think so?
I know he would. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we should have called him today. We could have done a. Man, why didn't we think of it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He lives right up the street now too.
How quick you think he can get here?
I'll have to call him and ask him. That
would be funny. Yeah. Cool. All right, far
and we'll
out.
get Matt and we'll do a live tune.
You know what? So the truth be told, Chris is kind of a last minute guest. We had someone else scheduled today at the last minute, so Chris was kind enough to show up. But if we were thinking,
we might have.
We could have actually. We should do. All right, we're gonna do a replay someday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do Acoustica, or something.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Yeah, have you guys come, because that's the plan. We had somebody play one time, and we're like, oh, we could actually do that. You guys could play.
I mean, it probably sound good.
Yeah.
In a room like this.
Yeah, we could do that probably with that one mic.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. We got to do. All right, so this is a seed.
The seed has been planted.
That's what I'm saying.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's cool. Name some of your. So we might as well. We'll do the like Desert Island album. Some of your favorite albums that you can't live without, that you would take with you.
Animals by Pink Floyd.
Really.
El Oso by Soul Coughing.
Oh wow.
Blow by Blow by Jeff Beck.
Sure.
Anything by Ricky Skaggs.
Wow.
Because his gospel stuff is just beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, couldn't stand the weather. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Sure.
Pick me a Zeppelin disc, it'll be fine. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
You see that a lot. If you'd be stranded, what would you?
I can't.
Because if I took one, I'd miss another.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
No, I know.
I mean, every Beatles record.
Yeah, that was my next question. Yeah. Is there a Beatles era that you favor?
I like that. I like them. Everything.
Yeah.
Revolver On is where I really like what what they did and how they experimented and the sounds they use, and the mono stuff. I mean, I still to this day like putting on a Beatles, a Parlophone disc, and playing with the balance and listening to how they mixed it. Mm-hmm. That's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I would go to record back in the day, I would try to emulate that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think we did that in your basement. We doubled a few things.
Yeah.
We panned a couple things and it turned out nice.
Got to figure it out.
Yeah.
This is stupid, but all right, let's see if I can make this quick. So I had a cousin visit last summer, and I had an uncle who passed away over the last few years, but he built. This is back in the day when you built your own stereo.
Sure.
This was like something that you did. It was your hobby, and he built this stereo. And I'm having Aaron Stone is making it come alive again because my cousin visited. He said, we're cleaning out the house, and I was like, bring the stereo, and that was always like, don't touch it, don't touch the stereo. And I ran it for, I turned it on, and it kind of worked, and I was listening to stuff, and then I called Aaron, told him about it. He goes, turn it off. Don't run it again. It's going to catch on fire. Just leave it alone. Okay. I said, all right, it works. He goes, bring it to me. I'll restore it, and then we'll talk about it. Anyway, long story short, this is funny because he probably built it in like, I don't know, 1960 or, like it's old. I forget how old it is. But there's things in it that they didn't know weren't going to become standard. There's features like there's a stereo spread knob so that, like they would say in the old days, it's stereo, and you put one speaker in one room and one in the other, and then the guitar solo comes, and it's in the other room.
Right.
You can actually, by a dial, by increments, fold the stereo in so that it's not this separated. You can control how wide the stereo is by a dial, which I'm just like, oh, that's cool. And then there's another selector where you can get one side, like if you're listening to the Beatles, one side mono. Like you could take everything, because sometimes for people who don't know what I'm talking about, but you listen to early Beatles stuff, and it's mixo stereo because they didn't know what to do yet. Mm-hmm. So they're just like, there's a whole different mix on each speaker. Well, on this thing, you can just pick one channel and make that mono. Oh. So you can listen to the whole everything twice. Just go, okay, let me hear exactly what's over there, but not taking one ear out, and it feels weird. This is like puts everything right in the middle. So I'm going to listen to every one of those albums twice. Just listen to everything like this, and then everything like this.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that's like some Les Paul technology or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And then, it didn't last. But for that little period of time, they were like, "Well, this is the future of stereo. Why wouldn't you want to do this?" And now you're like, "Oh, hey, that's some heavy duty, stuff." It has tone adjustments for each side separately. Like you just, we'll do this one over here, and that's crazy. It's involved.
It sounds it.
Yeah. But then, that eventually it became more simplified just because they were like, well, we don't need all this. But I happen to get this one piece. It's like right at the dawn of stereo where it's just like it's tricked out.
That might be museum quality.
Yeah. I'm hoping so. Yeah, I'm going to get into it. All right, so any Beatles is good with you.
Any Beatles.
Who else? Who? What's your favorite Who record? We never had that conversation.
That's another big influence of mine. I listened to Tommy over and over again. I listened to The Kids Are All Right over and over again.
Yeah.
A lot of B-sides on that record.
Yeah.
I can't pick one. I mean, I like their 70s stuff, better than the British Invasion kind of sound.
Sure.
But, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I even like It's Hard was a great record.
Yeah. I watched The Kids Are All Right.
I mean, poor Kenny Jones just doesn't get the respect.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it, and I understand. But on the other hand, it's just like, well, someone had to do it.
Big shoes to fill.
Great drummer. Yeah. Right. And what are you going to do?
Right.
You're not going to win no matter what you do.
Right.
And he's definitely a fine player. It's funny. Yeah. When I first got into the Who. When I first started paying attention to him, it was Face Dances. I learned that, not even realizing that's.
Did You Steal My Money? Great song.
Yeah. Then I'm like, oh, Keith Moon, I got to go back. I watched The Kids Are All Right 50,000 times. That movie.
Yeah. That one solo he does during Shake Shimmy.
Yeah.
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
No, I love Keith Moon. One of my favorites. I don't think people, not that it matters, but I don't think people really understand how brilliant. It's easy to go, yeah, whatever, but...
Well, he was an unorthodox drummer, I mean...
Yeah, but his sense of time is really good, though. He doesn't slow down or speed up in spite of all of that. You would think that he would be out of control, but he's not.
Like, there's no beat in bargain.
Right.
But there's time.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's weird.
Very strange.
First drummer to play to a click track, really. Like, Baba O'Reilly.
The way he flailed, it was good that he did.
And he was fine. No, but he was fine. But... I'm just saying, of all the drummers you would think you'd put like, a synth track to a click in his headphones and go, we're going to make a record that people are going to listen to for 50 years. Mm-hmm. You'd think, oh, Keith Moon would never be able to handle that. He killed it. No problem. Mm-hmm. Vastly underrated, in my opinion.
When they do Who Are You in The Kids Are Right, it's a different version of the different take of the song.
Yeah.
And I think they stopped the track and he's just.
Yeah.
He's like, okay.
Yep.
Take two.
Yeah. No, I love the Who. Desert Island Food.
Well, pizza. I mean,
sure.
Your four basic food groups.
Yeah, no brainer.
Oh, I don't know. Grilled cheeses, chicken fried rice, biscuits and gravy.
Healthy.
I mean,
when you scheduled for your heart attack?
Yeah.
So you gotta watch out.
Exactly.
I'm there. I'm right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. What name can you think of the most mind-blowing live show that you attended that changed your whole
I tell you this, the first major act or concert I ever saw was Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, Born in the USA tour in 1984.
That's heavy.
He played for 4.5 hours.
Yeah. It's
and
crazy.
I'll never forget.
That was probably the biggest show in the world right there.
Watching, my mom and everybody just getting up and dancing. I mean, nobody was sitting still. And I'll never forget this. During Devil with the Blue Dress, they turned on the house lights.
Yeah.
And just to see, it felt like, there was no separation between stage and audience. We were all under the same light.
Yeah.
And we were all, I'll just never forget that. I mean, just talk about it, I get chills up my spine.
Wow.
That was it for me.
Where was it?
It had to be Hartford.
Yeah. So you were
I still have the concert shirt, which is too small for me. But
yeah, sure. Well, it's chicken and gravy. Yeah. So that was like, oh, this is rock and roll.
I could tell you another story. I think it was 85. A buddy of mine, we went on vacation to Hampton Beach in New Hampshire with my father, and Grim Reaper was playing at the ballroom.
I don't know who
they were. Some one or two hit wonder band in the 80s metal. We couldn't get in, but we could listen to them on the back steps, which we did.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So
you can only imagine.
Yeah. So we're sitting there and we're listening to them, and the show's over, and we're just sitting there watching them. And I think it was the guitar player, might have been the singer, comes out, and they were English. Hey, fellas, how'd you like the show? Well, we couldn't get in. They took us backstage after the show. I kid you not.
And they murdered you.
No, they just let us hang out. Yeah. They gave us guitar picks. They signed the set list, which I have somewhere.
Oh, that's cool.
And I got to just see, this is rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a groupie over here. There's a bottle of booze over here.
Sure.
There's some guy playing the guitar over here. And here we are, 14 years old.
Yeah, right.
No one asked why we were there.
Yeah, right.
No one cared.
They just said, hey,
nobody offered us anything illicit, but
right.
that was it. I mean, that was like, wow.
Hey, that's cool.
And nobody believed us when we got back home.
Yeah,
you weren't back. Yes, we were. Well, I had the set list to prove it, but that's all I had.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Grim Reaper.
Yep.
Wow.
See You in Hell. That was their single. See You in Hell.
I bet.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. With a name like Grim Reaper, might as well.
Sure. That's funny. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So that was it.
They were nice. They were cool.
They were very cool. They were just normal people.
Yeah.
And so between the Bruce concert and that, I said, I'm going to give this a go.
Yeah. What are a couple more of your favorite shows? And that come to mind.
I can tell you, I've seen Stevie Ray. I saw Nirvana.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw.
Where?
In Worcester, I think, or whatever concerts on Muddy Banks of Wishkah, I was at.
Wow. Cool.
I saw Van Halen, the Live Without a Net with the first one. I was at that show in New Haven.
Yeah.
Wow. I've seen Eddie a couple times, and he's just a guitar god. I wish I had seen him with Dave, but
sure.
I'll take the Sammy. It was great.
Yeah. I saw him with Dave once, reunion, but
I saw Dave open for Sammy. That was great.
Hey.
That was talk about two different sides of the coin there.
Yeah.
Who else have I seen that has blown me? I mean, Billy Strings was amazing. He comes to mind. I mean, Jethro Tull in their day.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a stack of concert tickets.
Yeah, we've been around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, far out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Dave? What are some of my other questions? I'm scrambling a little bit today.
Other questions?
Yeah. Yeah.
The airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Yeah. Do you know?
African or European?
Exactly.
Is he a practicer?
We don't say it again?
Is he a practicer?
Oh yeah, that's right. Are you a consistent practicer of your instrument?
Every day.
Hey, see? There you go.
There are some days where I'm practiced out. And, But for the most part, it's every day.
So you have something that you're working on almost all the time.
I'll be watching TV and I'll be practicing my scales or and then what did I just do? And that's how it's always been for me. And
yeah, that's cool. It's just always the axe in your hand.
I mean, YouTube is great for basics and rudiments. I mean, I don't know where I'd be without it, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean,
old Banjo Ben.
Yeah, I do the same thing with the
He's a good teacher.
Who?
Banjo Ben.
I don't know who that is.
He's a teacher online.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my dulcimer teachers.
There you go.
My dulcimer channels that I watch.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny.
But think about it. I mean, we didn't have that stuff until
I know.
the early 90s or mid 90s.
I know. Can you imagine?
Yeah, we had to learn from older dudes.
Yeah.
Or just play by ear.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yep.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. That's cool. Uh-oh. Dave left the room. That's okay. Yeah. Oh, right. All right. Well, you know what? I mean, if you have anything else that you want to touch on.
I think we've covered a lot.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, anything you want to add or say in your remaining moments of?
Thanks for having me. I'm glad I could help you on short notice.
I know. Sorry.
I mean, we've been friends for a long time.
I would have talked you into coming on here anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it just so happened.
I like what you do. I've watched some of your podcasts, and all your guests are interesting and informative and funny. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a good time. Just trying to set the record straight. I figure. I mean, I've been asking you to be on before this anyway.
Sure.
It just so happened.
And
I figured, if Jersky was here, why not you? We'll get stocking up here.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
I think that's a good idea. You guys should play. That would be cool.
I'm down.
Figure that out. Get Mr. Roberts up in here.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, that would be cool. We should put that on the list.
Yeah, then we could have like a little demo too.
Yep. Hey, man.
The Higbee Mountain Bluegrass Band
plays. See, now we're thinking.
Ricky Skaggs.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Yeah, I used to have a Ricky Skaggs album from the 80s.
When he had his mullet, yes.
Yeah, and it was great though.
He's a fantastic player, the guys, and he's got a great voice.
Yeah, plays fiddle too.
Those guys, they can pick up anything. It just like Roy Clark just blows my mind.
Crazy. Yeah, you probably already knew this, but I'm trying to remember who it was. I can't remember his name, but I found because somebody died. I do this thing every year. When people die, I do a mix, and it was a banjo player. I can't remember who. It's the New South. What's his name? Oh man, now I gotta find this out. J.D. Crowder, is that who he is?
Oh, Crow, J.D. Crow.
Yeah,
He just passed away, didn't he?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you look at, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. You know, let me look him up because I didn't know who it was. And it's like his band is Ricky Skaggs and Tony Rice, and that's
it's got to be J.D. Crow. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, J.D. Crow. But I was like, oh, okay. You know, you listen to that and you're hearing the dudes. It's who is it? Yeah, we'll find this in a second. Let me see who's yeah, it's got to be him. Yeah, but I was just like listening to that album, and I'm like, holy crow, these are all the dudes. Yeah, J.D. Crow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait till you hear and then we'll get out of here. But you hear the personnel, it's hilarious. I was like, no wonder why. Oh, Jerry Douglas, Dobro, right? So here's my band. Jerry Douglas, Tony Rice, and Ricky Skaggs. Like, give me a break.
I'll buy a
Crazy.
ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, I'm with you on some of that stuff, man, for sure. It's good stuff. Yeah. All right, we're going to get up on out of here.
All right.
What do you think about that? That cool? Everybody sure. Cool? All right. Chris Tino was here. Let the record show. I'm going to press the button. You ready? There it is. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music School of Music and it's a School of Music and come over the bridge, come through one set of lights, start looking left. Let the record show, just for the record, just to memorialize this. I have a toothache today. I'm probably getting a root canal tomorrow. That's what I predict for my future, so I'm a little bit out of it. But anyway, Chris Tino was here. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Hit like and subscribe. Listen, Dave will tell you how to have your very own podcast. Thanks a lot, kids. That is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.